guys, it's Cindy, Blue Star at Home, and today I'm working on an antique oak chest, and the top is in great shape. It's just the ugly old orange oak color. So this is going to be the perfect surface to put our Fusions gel stain. Yeah, can you tell I love my stain? I use it a lot. So this stain is not a penetrating stain. It has a lot of resin in it, so it will bind to a current surface. So the great thing about the gel stain is that you don't have to strip and sand down to raw wood. You can apply it over your current surface. Couple of things to note. It's not going to hide imperfections. The imperfections will still show. So if you've got water rings or big scratches or things like that, then your best approach on those is to strip that finish off, sand down to raw wood, and use our stain and finishing oil, because that is a penetrating stain. It's designed to go on raw wood. But this top is in great shape, like amazing shape to be 100 years old or more. So it's probably closer to 150 now that I think about it. But anyway, so I'm gonna use the gel stain. So it is not as user-friendly as probably the whole rest of the product line. I think the gel stain is probably the most challenging to use, but it's not hard, and I wanted to show you the secrets to get good results. So the first thing we're gonna do is open this up, and there we go. And I'm gonna stir it, and I'm gonna stir it. Well, I'm not gonna stir it because the lid was off and it's dead. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna stir this, and we're gonna stir it well. All of the pigment and secret sauce and all the good ingredients are settled down to the bottom, and when I stir, I can feel it. I can feel how thick the bottom feels. See how glumpy? You may not be able to tell, but it is really thick. So I'm going to be stirring this, and I recommend stirring for 5 minutes. I mean, I'm going to time it, 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes are up, and you can tell it's much thinner in consistency, and it's not glumpy like it was before. So it is now ready. So I find that the easiest way to apply the stain is with a roller, especially the pigmented ones. This one is double espresso. It's the most heavily pigmented, and one coat will give you a dramatic change in color. The black and the gray stone are much more sheer, and they take multiple layers to build up color. But 2 layers of double espresso, and you're almost solid in color. So I find 1 coat of double espresso is pretty much all I need. I'm gonna use a roller, and one of the tricks to using a roller so that you don't get fuzz, even though these are supposed to be lint-free, there's just fuzz left in manufacturing, is to just take some packing tape and strip, and I kind of make a loop with it. And I hold it in between my fingers, kind of like that. And then I roll over it. And I try to get the end, the other end, and then I can rotate the tape around and get a fresh piece. And I just roll my roller over it. And then, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there you go. There's some lint, some really fine lint that I was able to pull off. So that's how I prep the roller for staining. All right. So I've got, I just use a paper plate, but you could use a paint tray. And I'm gonna pour a little bit of the stain onto the paper plate. I'm not gonna need much because this isn't a really big. This isn't a really big piece. Okay, so I've poured some out. Wipe off my stir stick, maybe. I usually save my stir sticks and reuse them in the same color. I can use them several times, so I'll clean this off and save it. There we go. All right, this is fairly runny, but gel stain is definitely thicker than the other stains. So I always take some Infusion's odorless solvent and I just pour a splash in there. And it just helps it thin it out just a little bit. I can stir that in. There we go. And now we're ready. Okay. The prep on the table is that I have cleaned it with TSP. That's it. Just clean. You don't have to sand. The resin in the gel stain will adhere without sanding. So that's one of the nice things, is that the prep is super easy. I'm going to be using a roller. I personally love the microfiber rollers that we carry. And you can get all of these supplies on my website, bluestarathome.com. But I use the microfiber roller, and I use my Ultimate One. Oh, what's this one called? I forgot what this one's called. It's just the big flat one. It's great for blending if you're painting and want to do blending, because it's got such a broad surface. It's fantastic. And these bristles are like to die for. But I use this when I'm staining, using the gel stain, because the size of the brush is almost the width of the roller. You can see there. And so that allows me to do a technique called a knockdown technique. And it's what keeps you from getting texture when you roll. So I'm gonna stand up. I want you to be able to see the table, but you don't need to see me. So we'll get this here, and we'll get it ready to go. So I'm gonna apply, make sure I've got gel stain on the whole roller. There we go. And then I'm gonna roll in one direction. And you can see how you can still see the wood grain below, but it doesn't cover up. And then I'm gonna come back with my brush, I'm gonna lay it down, and I'm just gonna gently drag it across. I'm not painting, I'm just dragging. There we go. Isn't that a dramatic difference? It's just incredible. Okay, I'm gonna load my roller again. And there we go. Just gonna drag across. One direction only. I am working in an air-conditioned space, so I don't have to worry about it drying too fast on me. Flip that over. And so I'm getting this gorgeous dark brown instead of the orange. And probably one more application. So I'm gonna get some more stain on my roller. Roll it across. Come down and do the edge. All the way around. And then I'm going to knock it down. And that is pretty much it. Got this gorgeous dark color. The orange is gone. And we just let it dry. So isn't that so much better? So much better than the orange. One coat, it's done. It takes longer to dry than regular stain that soaks in, since it's sitting on the surface. So it's probably 12 to 24 hour dry time in general. And so I'm just gonna let that dry, and then when it's dry, I'm gonna come back and paint the base. So I wanted you to see how easy the gel stain is. I'm going to clean my brush with mineral spirits. One thing that I haven't done, but you certainly could do, is have a little bowl of mineral spirits that you could just dampen your brush in to wipe back if you felt like if you want to clean it periodically, or you want to get a better even coat. But I'm loving this look, and I'm just happy that the orange is gone, and so now it's ready for a fresh coat of paint. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So gel stain, the Ultimate One brush, and the mineral spirits, their odorless solvent is on the website at bluestarathome.com, and also for my local peeps, I've got all of it at Vintage Marketplace, except for the brush. If you want a brush, message me and I'll hook you up. So thanks for stopping in. Have a great day. Bye. I will add one thing, and that is if you end up with a brush stroke or a bug landed in it or a piece of fuzz from your roller or whatever, don't try to fish it out. That's just going to make it worse. So if you have imperfections, leave them, let them dry, and then once they're dry, I come back with hemp oil and some really high grit paper, and just kind of, just like I do when I'm polishing my paint, pour a little bit of hemp oil on and use like 800 grit paper, and sand it smooth. The hemp oil will give it a little bit of sheen, because this will dry to a matte finish. But it will also help sand out and get out those imperfections. But if you try to fish it out with a brush, then you're just gonna make it worse, and then it's just a pain. I've had to sand back and start over. So let it dry and then deal with whatever issues you need to deal with. Okay,